Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why those stunning women you dream about seem to go for the bad boys while they ignore the nice guys like you? Have you ever been left scratching your head thinking, why do these beautiful women seem to hate nice guys? Well, today I'm going to reveal exactly why being a nice guy isn't the key to unlocking her attention. If you've ever been friend-zoned or rejected because you were too nice, this video is for you. Alright, so let's dive deep into the nitty-gritty of why being a nice guy often leads to heartbreak, frustration, and loneliness, especially when it comes to those high-caliber, attractive women that most men desire. To begin with, I want to make something absolutely clear. There is nothing inherently wrong with being a nice person. You should be kind, respectful, and compassionate, but what you should not be is a pushover, a people pleaser, or a man who is afraid to show his true intentions. Let's break it down. The first major issue with the stereotypical nice guy is that he lacks boundaries. Now, you've probably heard this word thrown around a lot, but do you really know what it means? Having boundaries is not about being confrontational or difficult. It's about respecting yourself enough to know when something doesn't align with your values or when someone is stepping over the line. Think about it this way. If you're always bending over backwards to accommodate her, doing everything she wants, and never voicing your own desires, what message are you sending? You're telling her that your needs don't matter, and if you don't respect your own needs, why should she? Imagine you're out with her, and she suggests doing something that you don't really enjoy. Maybe it's watching a type of movie you're not into, or spending time with a group of people you don't vibe with. The nice guy response would be to smile and say, sure, whatever you want. But the guy who respects himself would say, I appreciate that you want to do this, but it's not really my thing. How about we find something we both enjoy? That response is not rude, it's not dismissive. It's simply being honest and respecting your own boundaries. When you establish boundaries, you communicate that you're a man who values his time, his preferences, and his identity. This creates a dynamic of mutual respect. She knows that you're not going to be a doormat who agrees with everything just to avoid conflict. And let me tell you, women find that extremely attractive. Why? Because a man who has boundaries is a man who is confident in himself. Confidence is key to attraction. You might think being overly accommodating makes you more likable, but in reality, it makes you appear weak. And this brings me to the second point. Nice guys sacrifice their masculinity. This is where most men go wrong. You see, being masculine doesn't mean being a jerk, arrogant, or emotionally distant. It means being a leader, having a purpose, and not being afraid to take charge when necessary. But the problem is, a lot of nice guys confuse being nice with being passive. They think that if they just stay out of her way, she'll somehow realize how amazing they are and reward them with her attention and affection. But that's not how attraction works. Women are biologically wired to seek out men who display strength and leadership. This doesn't mean you need to be dominating, but it does mean that you need to be decisive. When a nice guy is faced with a situation that calls for a decision, whether it's as simple as choosing a restaurant or something more significant like defining the direction of the relationship, he tends to defer to her, saying things like, "Whatever you want, I'm okay with it." While it may seem considerate, what it actually does is put her in the driver's seat. And guess what? She doesn't want to be in the driver's seat. You might be thinking, wait, aren't women always saying they want equality and to make decisions too? And yes, they do want equality and input, but when it comes to relationships, they want a man who can lead. They want a man who can make decisions confidently, who can say, this is what I want, this is what we're doing, and who can stand by his choices. It's not about being controlling, it's about being assertive and showing that you're capable of taking responsibility. When you do this, you communicate to her that you're someone she can rely on and trust. That's where real attraction is built. Let's talk about the third point. Nice guys desexualize themselves. This is a massive mistake that so many men make, and it's one of the main reasons they fail to generate attraction. Here's the scenario. You meet a woman you're interested in, and instead of expressing your interest clearly, you suppress it. You're too afraid of coming off as too forward or too aggressive, So you settle into this comfortable, friendly, non-threatening role. You hide your romantic intentions under a facade of politeness and platonic gestures. You go out of your way to help her, listen to her problems, and be there whenever she needs someone. Sounds like a good guy, right? Wrong. What you're doing is placing yourself in a category that is anything but sexual or romantic. You're putting yourself in the friend zone. Now, don't get me wrong. Being a good friend is essential in any relationship. But if you want her to see you as more than just a friend, you need to inject some masculine energy into your interactions. This doesn't mean being crude or disrespectful. It means showing that you're attracted to her in a confident and direct way. Compliment her, flirt with her, tease her a little bit. Let her know that you see her as a desirable woman, not just a buddy. When you desexualize yourself, you strip away all the tension and excitement that could have been there. You become safe, predictable, and ultimately boring. Women want to be with a man who makes them feel alive, who brings a sense of adventure and excitement. If you're always nice and agreeable, you become the guy she calls when she needs emotional support, not the guy she thinks about when she's lying in bed at night. So stop being afraid of expressing your attraction. Show her that you want her, but do it in a way that is grounded and respectful. So what's the key takeaway from all of this? It's about balancing niceness with strength. You should be kind, considerate, and empathetic, but you should also be strong, assertive, and confident in who you are. When you balance these traits, you become a man who is both desirable and respectable. Women want a man who can be kind without being a pushover, who can be empathetic without sacrificing his own needs, and who can be respectful while still expressing his desires boldly. The problem with nice guys is that they often put everyone else's needs above their own. They think that by doing this, they're being selfless and noble, but what they're actually doing is losing themselves in the process. When you prioritize someone else's needs over yours, you start to feel resentful and unappreciated. And when a woman senses that you're coming from a place of resentment or desperation, she loses attraction instantly. No woman wants to feel like she's with a man who doesn't respect himself or who is willing to bend over backwards just to gain her approval. The truth is, it's not about whether you're nice or not. It's about whether you have the courage to be authentic and stand firm in who you are. Being masculine doesn't mean being aggressive or controlling. It means being true to yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. It means expressing your desires without fear of rejection. It means leading the relationship with confidence and clarity. Women don't hate nice guys. They hate guys who lack backbone, who are indecisive, and who try to win affection through passive-aggressive niceties rather than genuine connection. Replace being overly accommodating with being assertive. Replace agreeing with everything she says with having your own opinions and expressing them confidently. Replace being passive with being proactive. And replace suppressing your desires with communicating them in a direct, grounded manner. When you embody these traits, you'll notice a huge shift in how women respond to you. They'll see you as a man who is both kind and strong, empathetic and assertive, respectful yet direct. That's the kind of man who captures the attention of beautiful women, not the guy who fades into the background because he's too afraid to show up authentically.